Today we're going to be talking about mental health.
What do you do to cope?
I want to quit so bad.
Yeah.
I'm so done. I'm going to try not to cry.
Obviously, you only get really 18 summers with your kid until they're how do you manage mom guilt with having to wear all these hats and do, all the business?
I
kind of
don't.
things?
When you're so much on autopilot that you leave work and you go to pick up the kids and you're like, holy shit, how did I get here?
Knowing each other's love language is what can I do for you? Or how can I help you? Or because that is so much help for your mental in itself. You know what I mean? What do you think your love language is?
I have no fucking idea.
And she got pissed at me and she slapped my hot coffee off the counter and it splashed everywhere.
Not the coffee.
Ah!
I'm feeling golden, lost in the moment. It's taking over.
All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of Hustle and Highlight. Today we're going to be talking about mental health, which is sketch
drop.
for us. So yeah, I feel like in this industry there's a lot of mental health situations going on. I don't know if it's the economy right now. I don't know if it's just our industry in general with a lot of pressure around the glam and the hustle culture, but that is what we're going to address today.
Yeah, not even the industry itself, but just in general, the world is a crazy place.
Yes.
And being a mom and juggling and wearing all these hats, it definitely takes a toll on your mental. So
yeah. So here we are
talking about it. What do you do to cope? Straight off the back, what do you do to cope? Because I've said this before multiple times. Amber, she might not think this, but she thrives in chaos. She really does.
I don't.
I feel like she has so much on her plate, and she's a little bit more reserved.
As far as how?
As far as
if you don't know me.
Yeah. Yeah. You keep it in a lot until you explode.
Mm-hmm.
And then, obviously there are the emotions. But that's human. That's everybody.
Is it? Okay, good.
Yeah. I feel like that's everybody.
Good to know. Good to know.
Yeah, weird.
What do I do to cope? I honestly, if the gym, is it if I stay on a more of a strict schedule as far as the way I eat, the way how consistent I am with moving my body and working out, not even just going to the gym, but sometimes just getting outside and going for a walk. If I'm consistent in moving my body and fueling my body with healthy foods and stuff like that, for me, that's what does it. But also with that, having some kind of downtime, which is so rare for me, and sometimes that looks like just sitting in my car by myself
in silence.
So sometimes you'll see me in front of the salon.
I see you. It's almost not every day, but a solid amount of the times that you work.
Sometimes
she's in her salon, her car, not her salon. She's in her car for 45 minutes, just sitting there in silence.
Sometimes I'll just have my seat heater on, and I'll just be sitting there. I'm not listening to music. I'm not listening to a podcast. I'm just literally sitting there in silence.
That's probably
sometimes
a better
journaling
idea than driving in silence, because then we talked about this yesterday. Then you don't even know if you ran the red light or how'd you get home. Nobody knows.
Yeah, that happens. I feel like that happens most when you're just completely burnt out, right?
Yeah.
When you're so much on autopilot that you leave work and you go to pick up the kids and you're like, holy shit, how did I get here?
Yeah.
Did I run a red light?
Yeah.
I hope I didn't hit anybody. How did we get here?
Sure you would have snapped out of it by then.
But it's sometimes it feels like you're just completely out of it, right?
Soulless.
It's hard.
And your body is a shell.
Yeah. And you're literally operating on autopilot.
Yeah, that's for sure.
It's kind of wild. But yeah, I feel like that often.
Do you feel like if you stray off your routine though, there's you feel like chaos?
Yeah, it's a complete shit show, and that's been lately. So here we are.
I feel like that's how I feel too. I love a routine. Don't get me wrong, but I mean, I'm not as strict as you as far as like that goes. I would
you're
presume
getting
I'm definitely
there.
getting there. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I find if I have a routine, my mind is a little bit more clear. But definitely the gym helps. Like it's night and day. And if I don't go, I feel like a piece of shit. Literally.
Well, that's terrible because you're not, but
well, I know, but you just feel like gross and groggy and like, ugh, like I could have did more today, you know?
Right. And that's the thing too. That's hard too. I feel like in this industry, well, I don't know if it's just in this industry or if it's like being a mom or what it is, but that you just said, I feel like I could have done more. I feel like that every day, whether I'm like checking off all the boxes or not. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's hard because there's always something you could be doing more. There's always, even if it's something as little as like, shoot, I could have taken out all the trashes in the salon except for instead of just one, you know? So it is hard to, I don't know. It's funny we're talking about this because last night I was writing this thing on my Instagram story and then I just deleted it. But it's hard to sit there and hear people like, wow, you do so much, like how do you do it, whatever. And I'm so hard on
do it.
I'm so hard on myself that I'm like, do what? There's so many people out there doing more than me with less. Like, why am I not doing more? That's the way my brain operates. But it's just, I don't know, it's just, I'm so hard on myself. It's wild.
And we've said this before too, it's really who you surround yourself with, really, right? If you're surrounding yourself with people that are like super lazy and unmotivated, you're gonna be like that. You might not be like that in the beginning because you're already how you are, whatever it may be, but you're gonna turn into that, you know what I mean? So that's why, I mean, God bless for you, because you light a fire under my ass. That's for sure.
Well, I'm not trying to.
No, you're not trying to, but it makes me like become a better person too, like, and get my ass moving and going to the gym and like waking up early. So it sets my day up for success. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I mean, at the end of the day, we're not robots. We have souls. So we need connection. We need happiness. We need daylight and sunlight and health and wellness. We need all those things or we're not going to survive. You know what I mean? You have to prioritize yourself or you're going to have to prioritize your mental health. That's going to be completely downhill, you know?
Right. Yeah, you don't want to compromise your mental health.
That's
the thing too with having a routine. I try not to be so strict with my routine that if I veer from it, I'm not going to beat myself up about it. For instance, sometimes it's nice outside, right? Lately it's been super sunny and sometimes
nature is so curing.
Oh, it is. And sometimes I'm like, oh, today is, like whatever day, leg day at the gym and I don't want to miss it, but it's so nice outside and I really rather go for a walk and like soak up some sun and be outside. So sometimes I'll just be like, screw it. I'm just going to go for a walk.
At least you moved your body.
Yeah, exactly. But it makes me feel so much better to be outside and to be in the sunshine, especially in this particular like physical season that we're in, because we just got through like all the cloudy, rainy days. So now when I see the sun, I'm like, oh my gosh, I just want to be in it so bad.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I feel like in this generation too, obviously social media and phones are pushed obviously so hard. They're right in front of our face. So it's easy to be lazy. It's easy to sit on your phone and scroll. It's easy to watch TV and watch these shows and not do anything and sit on the couch and just binge eat. So that's what kind of contributes to your mental health is not taking care of your body, not moving it,
I mean, I don't do any of those things and I still struggle. So I don't watch TV. I don't doom scroll.
Yeah.
I don't do any of that. And so.
But I mean, everyone has a different life, right?
Yeah, totally.
Majority of Americans or fucking people in general right now is doom scrolling and sitting on the goddamn couch, and binge eating. But like when it comes to us, people that actually move their body and do things like that, it's other things. It's mental loads of taking on being a parent and juggling work and doing the podcast and for me all doing Kid Ridge and things like that, it's like all the things.
Yeah. It's a lot of things. And I feel like I I don't know, you probably hear this too, like, why are you adding so much to your plate? You know, like, you have so much on your plate. Why are you
like
taking something else on? And it's like, well, I have, you know, like goals and ambitions in mind, and like mostly for my kids, right? Like I want to provide them with a amazing life and set them up for success when they're older. You know, I feel like being a mom or being a parent in general, you want more and better for your kids than what you had, right? That's always the goal, at least people I talk to, right? Like,
for sure.
I had a great life growing up, and even though my mom was a single mom, you know, she gave me so much. But, you know, if I can give my kids more, why would I not?
Yeah, exactly.
So, and of course that falls on, you know, my husband and myself, but I feel like the weight of the responsibility to provide them with that.
Yeah.
You know, and so if I'm sitting on my ass and binge watching some Netflix series, what is that doing for me?
Yeah.
What is that doing for my kids in the future? It's working negatively.
Or even in that moment, you know, not soaking up the moment.
Exactly. So I feel like, I don't know, I can't. And some people are like, well, it's good to relax. I'm like, that doesn't sound relaxing to me.
Yeah.
The thought of like sitting and just watching something on TV sounds like anxiety to me, because I know myself and I know that I'll just be sitting there and being like, oh my God, I could be doing X, Y, Z right now.
Yeah.
And instead I'm like being a lazy ass, just sitting here watching this mindless show.
Yeah.
You know? And so I don't know.
I mean, I feel like your relaxing moment is reading, like when you do read. Like that's
reading and journaling. Yeah, totally. Yeah.
I mean, that's journaling is literally saving grace.
Yeah. I agree. I don't know what it is, even if I'm just like listening to a podcast or watching a Zoom call or something and I'm writing notes down, I don't know what it is about the pen to paper.
Yeah.
That physical.
Or even like listing out your day, what to do today, like what you need to get done, what you need to buy for groceries, like any of that pen to paper is just like so therapeutic.
So therapeutic. I don't know why. I don't know if it's because like we grew up pen to paper. You know, everyone's like on the iPad now or like a laptop or whatever. But for me, pen to paper is, like you said, so therapeutic.
I forgot, someone told me like about an app that, I forgot who it was, but they told me about an app to like, you know, you could do your to-do list and it's on your main screen. So then you can just click it off, which sounds beautiful, right? Because you're like, you know, it's right there in your face, whatever. But in my mind thinking like, I don't know, I just love a good pen to paper situation. Yeah. Writing it out, you know, like letting my brain kind of cure itself.
Yeah. I don't know if it's like the feeling of the pen writing on the paper or like what it is, but I agree. It's maybe for me, I know when I'm journaling, I'm getting a lot of things out of my head and onto the paper. So for me, it just feels like very cleansing in that way sometimes, depending on what I'm journaling about. Or sometimes when I'm journaling about, you know, like my ambitions or goals or what I want to do in the future or what I want my future to look like. Sometimes as I'm writing it, it's almost like I'm claiming it, right? Like I'm writing this down, I'm putting it physically on a piece of paper. This is going to happen. Yeah. You know, instead of just thinking about it.
And then in your subconscious, it like pushes your brain to like make those actions for yourself, like unknowingly.
Right. Totally.
So now that we're on the subject of like being a mom and having the kids and all that stuff. So like, how do you manage like mom guilt with having to wear all these hats and do, you know, all the business?
I don't. It's so hard. Like I manage it. I don't like, what does that even mean? I have no idea. I constantly have mom guilt. I have mom guilt right now. Yeah. Like my daughter, today is her first day of spring break, and you know, although she was able to sleep in, that's been her big thing lately. Like, I just want to sleep in. Is it sleep in day yet? And I'm like, oh, but so today she was able to sleep in. So I'm glad that happened. But, you know, like getting them like ready and dressed and fed and off to daycare, you know, like not sometimes, all the time I have like mom guilt about that because it's so like our life is so rushed, right? Because I've made it such like a packed full busy life.
Yeah, well, you only have 12 working hours in a day. I mean, typically, you know, I mean, it's a 24-hour day, but you really only have 12 people are 12 to 18 that people are like awake and moving. Right. So like that's limited. You have to work. You have to do all these things.
Yeah. And then, you know, for us, it's like we don't do well, very, very extremely rarely will we ever do like a fast food or something. So it's like at the end of the day, okay, we got to pick them up. We got to go sometimes to the grocery store and then go home. And I got to start dinner, dishes, laundry, homework, lunches for the next day. You know, there's constantly something to do. So in the little moments I do get to spend time with my kids, and literally sometimes it'll just be like laying in bed and they're just like snuggling with us sometimes. I'm like, oh, this is so this is so good. So but mom guilt, like I don't know how to deal with that.
Yeah.
And from what I've heard from a lot of my clients who have children that are a little bit older, whether it be like a teenager or maybe they're in their early 20s, like that doesn't go away.
Yeah.
You know, it like lessens from what I understand, but they always are like, it doesn't completely go away.
Yeah. I feel like that's something I need to work on too, is because I leave pretty early. They don't wake up until like 9, you know, and that's when I start my client. So I am out the door. So that's like Drew's time with the kids, which is a beautiful thing, but because he works late, so I get them at night, you know what I mean? Yeah. But it's also like, you know, I feel so bad not waking up with them and like doing the whole morning things with them sometimes. Like,
like breakfast and like getting them dressed. And definitely.
It's definitely sad and depressing, but I mean, but it works out, right? Yeah. And eventually it'll balance itself out.
Yeah. Well, for you too, you work 3 long days usually, but 3 days. So you have like the other 4 that are there potentially to spend time with them.
Yeah. Like this morning they were awake. So I got to like at least give them a kiss and say goodbye, you know?
Right.
But little things like that. I just feel bad. Like, oh, I'm leaving you, but I have all day with you today, you know?
Right. Yes. Yeah. I feel like the mom guilt thing is just something that all moms will forever continue to work on, you know?
I heard this thing. It was like, obviously you only get really 18 summers with your kid until they're like, you know.
Well, maybe even before that, before they're like, mom's not cool anymore.
Then it was like 12 years of like consistent time. Like, to soak in. I'm like, oh gosh, that's so sad.
I'm not ready for that.
Yeah.
Those facts in my face. Yeah. I don't know. It's hard. It's hard to find a balance, right? Between like, I'm trying to build this future for you and also be in the present. It's hard to find that quote balance. I don't believe there's a true balance ever, but I feel like you have different seasons and your time is spent allotted differently within those seasons. So yeah,
I couldn't agree more.
And also that's why, you know, like bringing it back to the hair industry, like if I have a client who cancels, I'm like, honestly, lately I've been like, oh, thank God I could breathe, you know, or like I can go pick my kids up early.
Yeah.
Instead of like having to rush and pick them up at 5:30 at the last minute, you know? So sometimes I'm like, oh, cool. I get to like spend some more time with my kids, or I get to like go home and like prep dinner and get everything going so that when I do pick them up, I could give them my undivided attention and not have to like spread myself all over.
Yeah.
So that's also
I couldn't agree more. Like, don't get me wrong, because I only work 3 days a week. Sometimes when it's like, it always works out. The client that cancels is in the middle of the goddamn day.
I know. Yes.
I'm like, and then I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, I have a steady flow. I have things going on. I mean, I get it. Things happen.
Yeah.
But it's also like, I'm trying so hard to like be in the present and be like, okay, well, I didn't make it to the gym this morning, so I can go now, you know?
Yeah.
Or like little things like that. Like I can actually eat because I haven't eaten yet. Or like little things like that. But it does suck.
The middle client. Yeah. When the middle client cancels, it makes it like you're kind of limited on what you could do. If it's like the first or the last client, then you're like, okay,
and our client's time is like, the allotment of the time that we give that client is pretty wide because we do extensions, we do color. It's a bigger time
long
slot.
Appointment. Yeah.
So it's like, fuck, am I going to sit here for 4 hours or what? Like, what do I do?
Totally.
But that's when you journal, ladies and gentlemen.
Right.
It's when you feed yourself. And that's when
move
you
your
hit
body.
The gym.
Yeah, totally. Well, lately in the middle of the day, I'm like, oh, it's sunny and it's like 73. I'm going for a walk.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I feel like those moments are rare. But yeah.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
I know we were just talking about this the other day too, is finding a new hobby. Like, why not? We were talking about trying boxing, right?
Yeah.
And doing something fun and something different. I don't know. even if it's not that, like we had Michelle on last week and taking a firearm safety course or doing something kind of you're scared to do.
Yeah.
Why not?
Challenge
you only
yourself.
have one life.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm not going to lie, like the last like 6 or 7 months, I have been mentally unhinged. Just like with my life and like chaos and like, you know, just going through the motions and everything. And it's just like finding yourself and who you really are. And I came to the conclusion, well, obviously this is a known fact that you only have one life, but you really only have one. And it's kind of scary. It's like, let's do all the scary things. Let's ride a dirt bike and learn a wheelie and fucking, I don't fucking know.
Yeah, I agree with that. I feel like
bungee jump off of a bridge.
Yeah, challenging yourself in any kind of way, right? Like mentally, physically, spiritually. I feel like challenging yourself always helps learn a little bit something about yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, and it also teaches your kids to like not be afraid to do the hard things, you know?
Right.
And I think that is powerful in itself.
Totally. Yeah. I feel like when I had a meeting with my bookkeeper yesterday, and I probably shouldn't be saying this publicly, but like mental health. She was like, so what's going on? Because I haven't seen her in a while. Usually we just communicate through text and it's like really quick. And I was like, I want to quit so bad. Like I'm so done. I'm going to try not to cry.
The amount of times you said this in the last couple of weeks.
I know, it's so bad.
You're like, you're ready to leave work now? Let's go.
Like,
we quit.
I literally called my husband a couple of weeks ago and I was like, hey, I'm on my way home. I quit. Like, I just want to let you know. And he was totally fine with it. He was like, all right, we'll just sell everything and downsize. And I was like, well, I didn't really do that, but I just want to try it on real quick. I just want to see like where you stood with that. So, but yeah, I told my bookkeeper, I was like, I want to quit so bad. And she's so sweet. I got home yesterday after like picking the kids up and running some errands. And there was like this beautiful bouquet of flowers on my doorstep with like the most kind letter ever. Yeah. And she doesn't have a social media, so she like didn't see my post that I posted, but that meant so much to me. And then a funny thing too was about a month ago, I was telling my husband, like, I just want like I feel like this goes with mental health because you have to really allot the time. Well, I feel like I have to allot the time in my schedule to just like sit and like think, right? Or just to even like have my own thoughts is rare. Yeah. And
that's why she sits in her car.
That's why I sit in my car. And I've been listening to this book and it's called The Road Less Stupid. And he talks about scheduling thinking time. Yeah. Like
that's what Lauren from Lauren Bostic does.
Yeah. Probably because of this book.
Oh, probably.
Yeah. They've
I know, I saw that. I was like, I need to start
scheduling thinking time. And it sounds ridiculous, right? When you hear it for the first time, but then you start to be like, oh, like, especially as entrepreneurs, right? Or like business owners, we're creatives too. Like we need that silent time to like sit down and think or even just to reflect.
I love that.
So I feel like I have been trying to, incorporate that into my schedule, which sometimes, most of the time, it looks like sitting in my car by myself. And again, with like going back to having that time to reflect, because I was talking to my husband, like nobody ever says like, I'm so proud of you except for my clients. Like, why is it my clients? Like, I don't know them that well. I know them, but some of them, but I don't like know them like I know like my friends or family. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. And the next day I was like breaking down boxes in the back alley at the salon and like putting them in the recycling bin. And this random man walked through the alley and he had like a lunch, like he went to go get lunch and was walking back to his business or whatever. And he was like, oh, hey, what business is this? And I was like, oh, it's the salon. And he's all, which one? And I told him, and he was like, oh, cool. Yeah, you guys have been there for a while. I'm proud of you. And I was like, whoa, like I've never seen you. I've never met you before, but okay. Yeah. But I personally, because, like I believe in God and everything, but I'm like, thank you, God. Yeah. Like I needed that from a perfect stranger. Yeah. And then too with like, just like new friends like Danny from my olive tree people.
Yeah.
She constantly is like, I'm so proud of you. And I'm like, wow.
Yeah,
like,
she's so sweet.
Yeah. But I'm like, just to like have those moments to sit and reflect. And for me, I pray. Yeah. And so, just to have those like prayers answered is like so refreshing.
And that is a thing in itself too, is saying like kind of paying attention to the little things. Like your day might be chaos, but like there could be like minor blessings in there that you might miss one day, you know what I mean?
Totally.
But try not to miss them the next,
Right.
Or like listening to the people that are in your corner, or even just sitting down and having connection. Like that, making time for that. That's a huge thing.
It is huge. It's something I don't do.
Yeah.
Like my version of making time for connection is like going to see my bookkeeper and just completely like being a hot mess and being like, I want to quit so bad. And then her being like, sometimes growth looks like that. Sometimes it looks like you want to quit so bad. Okay, so it's like start over. You could do it. You've done it before. Yeah. Which not saying that's like what I'm going to do. So like if you're in the salon, don't freak out. Okay, I'm not gonna like.
She's fine.
I'm fine.
She'll be okay.
Everything's fine. But it's the little things sometimes.
I feel like in the last couple of months too, I found out that like really knowing each other's love languages, like not even in a relationship, but like friendships too, like knowing each other's love languages, like what can I do for you, or like how can I help you, or because that is so much help for your mental in itself, you know what I mean? Like I couldn't say that anymore. Like I feel like what do you think your love language is?
I have no fucking idea. I feel like my love language may change. I feel like maybe acts of service
could be yours. Like if someone does something without asking, I feel like that could be yours.
Yeah. I mean, that's deeply appreciated.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be like the smallest thing. Like, oh, I wiped off the counter.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Oh, thank you so much. Because that bleach powder was really stressing me out.
I feel like that you said it changes with the season. I feel like that's with me too. Like I feel like I always love acts of service. You take out the trash. I love that shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Please.
Totally.
Or do the dishes.
Yeah. Or sometimes like I feel like as far as my love language, like with my husband, it's just time.
Yeah. Oh, same.
Because
quality time, night and day.
It's so rare, especially right now, because him and I are both so busy with trying to like, well, this weekend's Easter and like our son's birthday party or whatever. So we're so busy with working on the property and the house itself and our businesses and the kids.
He's on the go. You're on the go doing separate things. And it's just.
And so sometimes we don't even get the moment to sit down at the end of the night and like talk to each other because, the kids need our time.
Yeah.
So lately it's been looking a lot like both the kids are snuggling in our bed with us and we're just kind of like, oh, hey, from the other side of the bed. So just having like time with him would be, in this season, that would be my love language as far as like, relationship wise goes.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's so healthy and so necessary for a relationship to thrive for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. But with that, it takes a village, right? Like with that, sometimes that looks like having a grandparent, like watch the kids so we can like
go to eat,
go run an errand together, something like that.
Go install the cabinets in the salon or
exactly.
Little things like that.
Yeah. So yeah.
Okay. So burnout. Let's talk about it.
What do you want to like? Honestly, like I said, like I want to give up so bad. I just want to quit so bad right now. So I am burnt out.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't want to sit here and be like, this is how I deal with it. Because every time I get burnt out, and in this industry, you will get burnt out. Doesn't matter if you're just starting or if you've been doing this for 20 years. There's always burnout because I feel like there's the ebbs and flows of the business, right? Like where you just have this like swarm of overwhelming clients, which we're always so grateful for that. But at the end of it, you're like, damn, I just sprinted a whole marathon.
Yeah.
And you feel burnt out in that way.
And then there's like, you're a little slower and then you're like walking,
so stressed.
go slow and stressed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Or you're like just sprinting a marathon with trying to market yourself.
Yeah.
You know, it's like there's constantly like something to do in this industry all the time. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like in this particular moment of burnout for me, I feel like I just need some time for myself.
Yeah.
Like, and that's not saying I'm going to quit. Okay. So calm down. But that's just like, I just need to take time to like make sure I'm doing all the things I know I need to do, like having those thinking moments or going for walks outside or going to the gym, making sure I'm like, you know, like eating a good nutritious diet, something that's like, you know, nutrient heavy as opposed to just like, oh, this is convenient.
Yeah.
So in this moment of burnout, that's kind of what I'm doing to help myself.
I love that.
Yeah. But also, again, back to the thinking situation, just having time to like reflect, like, okay, like look at all this hard work I've done and where it's gotten me so far. Like, that's important to me because I'm so hard on myself. It's so easy for me to sit here and be like, oh my gosh, why am I not further along?
Yeah.
So I don't know. How do you deal with burnout?
Same, sister. I think journaling definitely helps. And I love that you said to take some time out to just think and of your day. I feel like that could be essential and I should probably try that.
Yeah.
Even if it's 30 minutes or even if it's 15, you know what I mean?
Right.
To jot it down on a piece of paper would be so healing and just helpful.
It's so helpful.
But also like some people like therapy. You know what I mean? I just actually booked someone to start that. So I'm excited to kind of like someone that doesn't know me and doesn't know my lifestyle or doesn't know who I am or what, you know, my anything is. Like I feel like that would be kind of healing in itself too. So I'm excited to try that. And it's not saying that I'm a whack job or I have issues or anything like that. Because I feel like a lot of people say like think that when you think of a therapist, like, okay, what's your issues, blah, blah, blah. But it's like sometimes it's just like listening, you know? And like,
totally.
I don't know.
I'm kind of jaded when it comes to therapy, but I know so many people it's worked wonders for.
Why not try it? Yeah. That's why I was in my head thinking, like I said, we only have one life. Why not try it?
Totally. Yeah. I think too, to your point of just talking to a stranger, that alone would be super healing.
Yeah.
Right? Because they have no like
opinion,
presumed, you know, kind of picture about you or your life or whatever. There's no like history there. So you could just lay it all out on the table. Yeah, just like word vomit whatever you want to say, which is nice.
And you can cry and they wouldn't even bat an eye.
I mean, I don't know. Morgan, who was on our show like a few episodes back, she was my mindset coach for years, and essentially she was kind of like my therapist, right? Like technically I can't call her a therapist, but like, again, my mindset coach.
Yeah.
But she helped me through so much. Like she was my mindset coach before 2020 through 2020, which like a lot of shit happened in 2020 and 2021 for like everyone, right?
Yeah.
But in our industry in general.
Well, as a business owner, for sure.
Yeah, just as a business owner, and, you know, with like the fires, and then like I got pregnant, and then I lost my like biological dad, which like we didn't have a relationship or anything, but it was weird. And so she helped me through so much, and I love the way that she does what she does, because she really just helps lead you to your answer. She doesn't give you answers. She just asks the right questions to lead you to where you need to go, to where you didn't know you needed to go, right?
What she say on our podcast, she said like there's two sides to a coin. Like if you flip it and like you can't decide between something, like one side you're obviously hoping for, and the other one like you're clearly obviously hoping for the other side, so there's your answer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that resonates with me so much, and I just like think about it all the time.
Yeah. That I was telling my bookkeeper that yesterday. I was like, honestly, if I flip a coin right now, I know exactly what side I want it to land on, and like, damn, that shit's hard.
Yeah.
But she was telling me about this like resort or this retreat that this woman went on, and, you know, at the end of the retreat, you meet up with basically a perfect stranger that's also at the retreat. Mm-hmm. And whatever you tell them, like, okay, these are the actionable steps I'm going to take when I get home, and this is the outcome I want to happen, then go home and do that. Like, if you could tell a perfect stranger, this is what I know I need to do to get to the life I want to live.
Yeah.
That's what you should be doing. Why are we not doing that? Because we have, like, the pressure of...
Well, and we overthink things.
Yeah. We have the pressure of, like, so many people weighing on us, like our children, you know, like we have to make sure we could provide for them and give them the life that we want and stuff like that. And sometimes that means, like, taking a couple steps back before you can, like, launch forward, you know?
I feel like there's something to say in that too, is like prioritizing yourself as well. Is like, if you're not mentally okay, or if you're not emotionally okay, then how are you supposed to be okay for everybody else in your life? You know what I mean?
Right.
So take care of yourself and feed yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I feel like that's hard to, in my situation, I have a hard time doing that because I'm, like, feeling guilty as I'm taking care of myself, you know?
Yeah.
Again, with, like, sometimes I'll be like, okay, I gotta drop the kids off early because I want to go to the gym. I feel bad because, wow, I'm like, I have to go to the gym instead of, like, spend that moment with my kids, you know? So,
but at the end of the day, if you don't do that, then you're gonna.
Then I'm not a good parent.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not a good person.
Not that you're not a good parent. It's just you're more maybe a reactive parent or an overstimulated parent or anything like that.
Totally.
That's a lot to say with myself. I get overstimulated a lot.
Yeah,
and it's hard, but it's like I try to remind myself, like, okay, like, they're only little ones, like, they're learning, like, they don't know how to regulate their emotions, like, you do, breathe, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
I feel like the overstimulation is sometimes kicks in when you're, like, at home and you're trying to have these moments, but you also have these million other things you're trying to do at the same time.
Yeah.
And then it's like, you know, Bluey's on the TV, and then the Elsa doll is coming. Is like, coming through, and then, like, they pick up the microphone and they're trying to sing their favorite song, and you're just like, like, get me out of here.
Oh my God, you just want to, like, throw a blanket over your head and curl into a ball.
Sometimes I'm like, the TV has to go off. We can't have Elsa. Like, we're just like, hang on a second, let's reset here.
Exactly. Literally, you know, I'm overstimulated when I'm in the car and the beeper, the seatbelt beeper goes off, and I freak out.
That sends you.
Or if it doesn't freak out, or it keeps going and I don't freak out, then I'm fine. I'm mentally okay in that moment.
That's the ultimate test for you. Get you in the car with your kids. If the seatbelt thing is going off, listen to how you react.
God, that thing drives me fucking nuts. Yeah. It's like common sense. You're in the passenger seat, put the fucking seatbelt on.
Sometimes, you know what? Sometimes it's the little things. Like,
goodness gracious.
Damn dinging noise, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
So how do you cope with loneliness that can come with leadership? Because you are a leader, girl.
A lot of times I don't feel like a, quote, leader. Like, I'm kind of just, like, going through life and, like, this is just what I do. So it doesn't feel like leadership. I don't know. A lot of times I don't feel like I'm old enough to be doing what I'm doing.
You said this yesterday. She goes,
I signed I signed a permission slip for my daughter, and I'm like, am I old enough to be signing a permission slip right now? It's so weird. So I kind of feel the same way when it comes to, like, leadership. Like, I don't know. I don't know if it's because it just is.
I feel like it also depends on who you're around too. Because like I said before, we're all pretty close. So it's kind of, and we're all pretty blunt with each other for the most part. So I feel like it's a little easier to just be like, you know, kind of lead, I guess, right?
Yeah.
It kind of flows.
And I also feel like as far as leadership goes, you kind of, like, lead by example. Yeah. In my opinion, that's the most effective way to lead by example. Yeah. Even when it comes to your kids, you know, not just career-wise, but in any category of life. I think personally that's the most effective way. And like we were saying earlier, you know, you are like the people you hang out with. Mm-hmm. A perfect example there, right? Like, what are those people doing? Who you're hanging out with? Mm-hmm. And if you're around someone who's a lazy couch potato, you're more apt to become a lazy couch potato. But if you're around people who are like go-getters and out there and like working towards whatever it may be, you know, like having a good physical wellness or, you know, like career driven, then that's the direction you're probably going to go in if you're hanging out with those people. So I don't know, like loneliness as far as leadership goes, back to your question. I was talking to my husband about this other day. Sometimes it does feel lonely because me personally, I put up a wall and like super strict boundaries with you guys. Like I don't let myself become like too close to anybody because I don't want to get taken advantage of, and I don't want to, and this is just like my own personal thing that obviously I need to work on here. But just putting up boundaries and like walls basically of like, I don't want to get taken advantage of, and I don't want to like get too close to anyone so that they think like I'm not a good leader. You know, like I don't want to show like my weak moments.
Yeah.
To,
but that's obviously not the case.
Yeah. I mean, like there's a lot of
I think that's an internal thing, which we all have internal thoughts, and we're all our like worst enemy, right?
Yeah, but in that it feels lonely, right? Because like I can't be transparent 100%.
Unless you're like me and I'm like, tell me now.
Yeah. Like, not okay. The Nut Hut is just a phone call away. Yeah, so I don't know. I feel like it's hard. Yeah. But
you know, it looks all glamorized on the outside.
It's not.
But it's not. We all struggle.
It comes with so much like mental toughness.
Yeah. There's so many times that we probably cry in silence. Yesterday, I cried before I went to work.
Yeah.
I was literally...
I was a hot mess yesterday too. Yeah.
Oh gosh, yesterday, because they're toddlers, so they're like, they don't know better, but they're learning their emotions. And she sprayed me in the face with some little water bottle thing. Yeah. And I was like, I took it away from her. I'm like, no, we're not doing that right now. Like, I'm trying to run around and do her lunch and do all these things so I can get out of the house and get her going to school. And she got pissed at me, and she slapped my hot coffee off the counter, and it splashed everywhere.
Not the coffee.
And I just threw my hands up in the air, and I just instantly started bawling. Like,
I'm done. Yeah. Mom's done.
She goes, it's a mistake, Mommy. And I'm like, I taught her the difference between a mistake and not a mistake.
Yeah.
Like, doing it on purpose. And she's like, it was so cute. When I went home yesterday, she told Autumn everything that happened. Aww. And she was like, I made Mommy cry, and I feel so bad. And like,
sad.
I did it on purpose. And like, you know, she was super apologetic, and it was so sad, but it also made me feel a little bit better too, because she understood the conversation that we had. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And it's a proud mom moment.
But in an overstimulated moment, I might have like snapped on accident, and and that's what I'm really trying to like reel back in, because they're so little, they don't understand.
Yeah, like not letting your emotions get the best of you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, and they learn more. Obviously she grasped it all when I was understanding and like a little bit, I mean, obviously emotional, but
yeah.
So just little things like that. I don't know. I just feel like we're all struggling, and we take it day by day, but
we're all just out here trying to do our best. Yeah.
And definitely try to prioritize your mental health, because if you don't, you're on a sinking ship, buddy.
Not good. It's not good. It's not good. Yeah. I don't know. I think the routine really helps too, because if you have a routine and you have a schedule, you're checking all the boxes you need to check for you. Yeah. You know, and you can't be a good you, whether that be a leader, a wife, a mom, just a person in general, if you're not doing the things that you need to do. Yeah. You know, to operate at like the ultimate level. So yeah, I think that's,
and we're not perfect. We're learning it day by day. Not.
No, especially in this moment in life. It's been a season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've said this, I'll say it again. If you're struggling, move your body. Yeah. Journal. Sit in silence for 30 minutes.
Get some sunshine.
Whatever is your healing moment, do it.
Yeah.
Because we're rooting for you.
Yeah. Be the best version of you.
Yes.
Yeah. Good episode. All right. If this resonated with you, like, comment, follow, share this episode with someone you feel like needs it.
Yes, please do.
And we will be back next week.
Cheers.